Namaskar, all the friends. We are back with a new program, and many people might wonder why, though I am known as a Hindutva guy, I keep on taking economic issues. But I'm taking those issues because generally those issues are not being taken by others, and those are the issues which people find difficult to comprehend. Our last program on cryptocurrency was highly appreciated. In fact, we have another edition in coming week. Similarly, this is an edition which everybody is worried about. As a country which is dominated by MSME, micro, small enterprises, please mute your mics. Okay. So as a country which is dominated by small shopkeepers, small industries, individual entrepreneurs, naturally, they need to be worried because of the fiscal issues that affect them, also because of COVID, which has hurt everybody very badly. So my panel today includes MSME representatives. It includes a very prominent tax expert. So I start introducing Dr. M.R. Venkatesh. You know him very well. I don't have to reintroduce himself. He's a PhD. He's a CA. He's a cost accountant. He's also Supreme Court lawyer and an author, as I talked about, a wonderful book that is about to be published, The Eternal Way. There is Rajiv Tuliji. He's an MBA in marketing and finance. He's a first generation entrepreneur and he specializes in electric vehicle manufacturing. He's also All India General Secretary of Electric Vehicles Manufacturing Society. So he knows much about the pain of MSME. And he's a reluctant TV panelist because he avoids coming on TV. And he's also a columnist. And he's a senior RSS worker in Delhi. Then Mr. Ashish Naredi. Haji, namaskar kar dijiye. He is a graduate from prestigious ISB Hyderabad. He has 3 MSME units running in Hyderabad. His latest is on PSA oxygen plant manufacturing, which he did with the collaboration of IIT Tirupati and one of the very few companies manufacturing this particular instrument. He's a freelance columnist. He writes on WION and Swarajya, depending on the topic. And he's a member of many social and research organizations. And for many, it will be a surprise. This industry is also man behind the Truthist, a very popular site with satire and small poems and wonderful musical response to many of the issues that plague us. And his COVID lockdown actually has made him a poet. He was not a poet earlier on. So one of the side effects. There is Vishal Tiprewal. He's a third generation entrepreneur. And he has done mechanical engineering. He's manufacturing steel components for oil and gas industry. And they have a rated export house. He's a lifetime trustee of Educational Trust. He's founding member of an environmental preservation group called Kesav Shishti My Green Society. He's into tree plantations, forest plantation, city forest, and also waste management. He's also part of rural development team of Kesav Shishti, which is RSS inspired institution. And he has his own YouTube channel called Dil Se Desh Ki Baat, where he posts his views on various issues about nation. With this introduction, I'll move on to the introduction of the topic. My topic today is how fiscal policies can help MSME stay afloat or sink. That is the topic. And as Professor Vaidyanathan has very famously made a term very famous, it's unincorporated India, which actually, runs this engine of this economy, but unfortunately it has not been recognized as such. To amplify this particular point before we get into the serious debate, I'll give you some figures, not many, but a few figures. 45% of the national income is generated by MSME and only 15% by the corporates. On the national domestic product, service sector provides 40% of the income product, in which 64% is generated by MSME, of which 62% is generated by SC and OBC industries. Very important to note. Exports, 48% is done by MSME again. In investment, which is the heart of savings, what we call as your savings for investment, saving rate, we have a rate of 31%, of which MSME and household have 22.3% stake, big corporates have only 7.2%, and government has 1.3% stake in that 31%. And maximum employment is provided per lakh of rupees by MSME. One more interesting aspect, in the investment, 72% of the investment is done by household and MSME, 24% by the corporate, and only 8.7% comes through FDI, for which we hear a lot of hue and cry, as our economy depends on foreign FDI only. As a GDP, only 2.1% of GDP is generated by FDI as of 2020. For the income tax generation, 55% of the income tax comes from the household unregistered units, and of this, 40% comes from MSME. And now look at how it is being treated by the government. In the tax structure in 2014, corporates paid 34% tax. In 2018, it came to 34.8. In 2020, it came to 25.17%. I think now it's 15%. On the other side, for MSME, the taxation rate was 34%. It went up to 35.8%. And I think some exemptions have been given recently and limits have been increased. And you come to banking, because banking policies are defined and people run after loan in the bank. What happens? NPA is the biggest curse that is keep speaking about. That there are Choksis and Modis who run away to foreign lands, Malyas and all. Of the NPA, 15 to 20% corporate loan goes NPA. But MSME, only 12.5% goes NPA, because MSME don't run away anywhere. But the bank loans, corporates take 43% of the bank loans, and MSME just get 20% of the bank loans. So that is how it is. There are some positives. Labor codes have been refined. Some income tax systems have been refined. And how MSME, when it is put in front of the big corporates, how same treatment to MSME and corporates. I'll just give one example. Pollution Control Board has the same rules for MSME and big corporates. So that means investment on the pollution control equipment would be much more in percentage terms for an MSME as compared to corporates. And if any mistake occurs, willingly or unwillingly, the new rules simply shut down the unit. It takes 1 to 1.5 months to open the unit again, running around from remote Bhiwadi and going all the way to Jaipur, etc. So this is the condition in which the MSME works. And then I think from this, I'll go on to the actual move ahead on this. To open the topic, I will request Rajiv Tuliji as All India Secretary of MSME, including COVID terms. In fact, in COVID, there were a lot of credit limits increased and given, but actually the loans never reached the MSME due to certain reluctance on part of banks and part of RBI to stand by the banks. So I'll hand over to Mr. Tuli, so then move on to the topic.
Dhanyavad, Ratanji. I will begin with 2 observations, which I have lately, observed while speaking to my, fellow businessmen, manufacturers, industrialists, and even some of my friends. One is, ये सन्यासियों की सरकार है, इसको बिजनेस से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता हो या ना. This is the first observation. So second observation regarding MSMEs, we have 2 central ministers. One is who knows MSMEs, who understands MSME very well, but his focus is surface transport. The other minister, the MOS, is a very thorough gentleman. We have, opportunity of meeting him once or twice. So we have gone and met him also. He is a thorough gentleman. He wants to do a lot of things, but he doesn't know the business. He doesn't know the MSME per se at all. So these are 2 observations about this government. And you can very well judge that, even if the intent is there to do good for MSME, the minister or the overall DNA of the government is not letting the things happen. You spoke about bank finances, bank loans and everything, right? So there is a product by the name of CGT MSC, which is exclusively for MSMEs. That is, loan without collateral, insured, 75% insured by central government scheme, central government, and 25% risk is with the bank. So last demonetization, the limit of this 1 crore, this scheme was brought by NDA 1 of the Atal Bihari Vajpayee. This was done then, the limit was set at 1 crore, and till the date, today we are sitting in 2021, the limit has been raised to 2 crores, but banks are not willing to give the loan to the MSE without collateral. So this is the overall scenario related to it. I mean, the government is trying to do a lot of things, but the implementation of the policies is left to either bureaucracy, no minister takes up the follow-up or whatever. I mean, there was a package of 3 lakh crores in last,
Yes.
COVID lockdown, but you really need to find out how that 3 lakh, earmarked for MSMEs have been distributed and how the banks have completed their targets. You need to find an SIT as to who are the beneficiaries of that scheme. So these are certain, initial observations. आज यहाँ आने से पहले मेरी बात हो रही थी किसी से, उसने मुझे बताया कि साहब इस सरकार में इंटेंट है करना चाहते हैं, मगर करना उनके लिए चाहते हैं या तो आपको बहुत गरीब होना पड़ेगा जहां आपको 500 रुपए जनधन अकाउंट में मिल जाए और दीपावली तक का राशन फ्री मिल जाए, या आपको फिर बड़ा कॉर्पोरेट होना पड़ेगा जहां कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स में रिबेट मिलती है. तो MSME, due to overburdening of the minister concerned, cabinet minister Nitin Gadkari, he is, I mean, if you sit with him, he want to do a lot of things. He want to do probably, he want to make MSME as we, एकदम चमकाना चाहते हैं, उसको सब करना चाहते हैं. बट जो उनकी जो प्रायोरिटी है, वो प्रायोरिटी जो है वो सरफेस ट्रांसपोर्ट, रोड्स, शिपिंग, वो सब उनकी प्रायोरिटी है. उनकी प्रायोरिटी पे MSME नहीं आ रहा. दूसरे मिनिस्टर MOS प्रताप सारंगी जी, थोरो जेंटलमैन, आप जाएंगे, मिलेंगे, अच्छे से बात करेंगे, आप अपना रिप्रेजेंटेशन देंगे, बट he doesn't know how to get the things executed or what to do in, what is the significance of the MSMEs and what is that, he can, I may be sounding too cynical today, I may be sounding too negative, but this is, what is last 7 years for the MSMEs have been in this government.
तो आपका ये कहना है कि इंटेंट है, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं या तो ब्यूरोक्रेसी या कहीं ना कहीं लैक ऑफ विल टू पुश रिफॉर्म्स, और जब रिफॉर्म्स होते हैं, रिफॉर्म्स का यूज है, रिफॉर्म्स का जो उपयोग है वो हो नहीं पाता. जैसे GST का इतना बड़ा रिफॉर्म हुआ, जबरदस्त रिफॉर्म हुआ, सारी दुनिया में ये करने में मेहनत होती है, भारत जैसे देश में फिर भी पुश करके किया गया, लेकिन उसकी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी इतनी ज्यादा थी कि कई CAs ने हाथ उठा दिए कि भैया हम तो GST फाइल करेंगे नहीं, हमारे बस का नहीं है, इतने CM नहीं रख सकते. और उसके अंदर ऐसे पीनल क्लॉज थे और इतने प्रॉब्लम थे सर्वर के कि वो भी सारा दोष लोगों पे आता था. करते करते अब ठीक हुआ है और उसके बाद में कुछ उसको आसान भी किया गया है. तो कमिंग टू दिस कॉम्प्लिकेशन ऑफ इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, आई विल गो टू MR Venkatesh and
so can I raise one more point specific to my particular industry?
Please.
Okay, now regarding the GST, most of the components that we buy are on 18% or 28%, because these are, most of them are automotive components which are at 28%, batteries are at 18%, right? And the sale of electric vehicle is at 5% GST. So whatever you are earning plus your basic principal, your capital, it is getting stuck with the GST, and GST का refund लेना या सरकार से कहीं भी कुछ पैसा निकलवाना, तो मेरी कंपनी का रिफंड अप्रैल 2020 से आज तक नहीं आया. you can very well imagine. And this is with everybody, at least in Delhi, NCR, and probably West Bengal, where we have few manufacturers, and then we have few manufacturers in UP also. UP, it takes at least 6 months to get the refund. Haryana is the only state which is getting you after 3 months. So minimum is 3 months that it takes the refund to come back to an MSME kind of, where the capital is very small, then the bank interest is huge. ये CGT वाले प्रोडक्ट पे भी अपन बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे, उस पे भी उसमें क्या क्या है. So GST, yes, per se GST was absolute very good product, very good move by the government, क्योंकि वो CST पे सेल करते थे, 2% पे वो C फॉर्म नहीं आता था. Venkatesh, because he is a qualified chartered accountant also, I don't know whether he is in practice or not, तो वो C फॉर्म नहीं आता था. Then अगर आपको अपना वैट का केस करवाना है तो आपको वो वहां पैसा देना पड़ेगा, तब आपका केस होगा, क्योंकि सी फॉर्म आएगा ही नहीं. आप so we have done away with that. That is absolutely fine. But the kind of rationalization that has to happen in GST have not happened. So for EV industry, this GST is actually killing. 28% और 18% पे आपकी परचेज है, 5% पे आपकी सेल है, आपका प्रॉफिट प्लस आपका कैपिटल इज गेटिंग स्टक विद द गवर्नमेंट, एंड वहां से रिफंड लेना मतलब वी कैन से इट हियर दैट इट इज नॉट लेस देन एन एक्स्ट्रा एक्सपेंस ऑफ 2-3%.
तो आपका कहना है कि फिस्कल पॉलिसी तो जो आएगी ये जो, लेकिन जो है उसका भी जो लागू करने का तरीका बड़ा प्रॉब्लमेटिक है. सो MRV you can take on for their one is that why the laws are made the way they are made, why they are implemented the way they are implemented. We'll go to the how to improve it in the next round of discussions, but right now where we are stuck in the face of economic gloom that we face today because of COVID.
Now, after hearing Rajiv Tuliji, I would only wish if there were somebody from the government.
थोड़ा volume ऊपर करेंगे.
Yeah, I wish somebody from the government would listen to him and hear him fully. My sympathies are with you, sir. And the intent is definitely there with this government, no doubt about it. But intent without content doesn't take you anywhere. Let us be very clear. MSME is Hindutva in economics. If you want to talk about Hindutva, you don't think only it is limited to Ram Rajya or Ram Mandir. If it is to be brought down to the level of economics, you have to have a robust MSME sector. MSME sector is Hindutva in economics. Let us make it abundantly clear to those who are in
what
power.
You mean is it is the Atma of Indian nationhood,
Indian nationhood, Indian economics.
Behave economically,
yes. Why? Because you have family, you have people who are distributing to the neighborhood. You are talking about your own people. You cater to your community. You buy from the community. You consume within the community. It is a self-contained economics of a particular region, and MSME involves local capital. MSME involves local banks, local financiers. All these things are MSME. But you want to, for instance, cater to Basel III norm for the banks. And you also talk about Atmanirbhar. Now it is like Chennai auto fellow who will switch on the right indicator, extend his left arm to show that he's taking left turn, सीधा जाएगा और U-turn marker आएगा. Now we are absolutely like this. Whether there is intent or not, the content is absolutely not there. And when the content is not there, intent रहे ना रहे, इससे कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता है. So my first policy prescription is get rid of 90-day NPA norm and devise an Atmanirbhar norm. And pending this Atmanirbhar norm, you say that 90-day norm is suspended and 180-day tak hum isko push karenge for NPA.
But MRV, I'll just add to this, just one point. When we have NPA rule for 90 days, we have a rule for payment of the MSME by the large corporates or government within XYZ days, I think 60 days or something. But that is not being followed.
That is not in even GST.
That is
refunds.
Normal credit debit thing, you know.
Yes.
That is 45 days.
That is 45 days.
All the PSUs, yes.
But nobody pays you within 45 days. Even GST refund takes 90 days. Even your own taxes to be collected takes 90 days minimum. So this 90-day norm is a hogwash. We are fooling ourselves, we are cheating ourselves, and we are killing ourselves. Okay, let this be. I have decided that this will be the single largest campaign. And Ratanji, you know very well, I am on a PIL in Madras High Court also challenging this 90-day norm. But when you call the MSMEs to come along with you, उनको इतना डर लगता है कि क्या हम बोलें ये सब, sir, we will talk only in hushed tone, that too in Skype or in Zoom, not even in WhatsApp. So nobody wants to challenge this. This is point number one. Point number two, as a recommendation, I would say that today the GST collections are buoyant, notwithstanding the dip in the collection in the month of May. Rationalize your 18% rate to 16% rate. In my view, if you cut it down from 18% to 16%, 2%, which will be roughly around 15 to 20,000 crores, will be released into the economy, which is 2 lakh crores, which will give a huge leg up to MSMEs. This will give a huge demand pull effect. This should be done. Simultaneously, cut all rates of 12, 8, and 5 into a single rate of 8%. So this is the time to move to 8 and 16%, from 18% to 16% one rate. 8, 12, and 5 should be rationalized at 8. Remove all input blocks and reverse all duty inverted structure, like what Tuliji was saying, that output 5% ka hai or input is 18%. So you always have a GST, stagnating in your accounts, and you are not able to collect it. It must be seamless. If you read Kelkar committee report, which was given in 2003 or 2004, they said everything must be brought under GST net at one rate of 16%. One rate is slightly impossible, I understand, but 8 and 16, this is the time for the government to think about a massive reform, that whatever you buy, you will buy it at 8%. End products can be at 16%. Tuliji ka maximum ye chala jayega. Having said that, GST for the last 1,000 days or 1,200 days has got more than 1,200 to 1,500 amendments. Hatash ho gaye hain. Right now, I have coined a phrase which has become very popular, and I didn't share this optimism about GST. And in 2015, in an interview to Rediff, I said GST will not result in tax terrorism. It will definitely destroy tax terrorism, but it will bring in tax jihadism. And I was spot on, and that is what is happening today. GST has become a terror agent for the government against MSMEs. So all these penal provisions in GST has to go. Input tax has to happen, and one input tax credit is automatically given. Automatically you will have a complete cycle. The problem with this, we say that chuna ko tax nahi hai. Suddenly, I don't know why chuna ko tax nahi hai. Lekin pan ko hai. Ya pan ko nahi hai, chuna ko hai. This is our no reason why. And you know that chuna, pan, and betel nut go in a pan package. No, we will remove betel nut, or we will add betel nut at 28%, pan at 5%. This stupidity can come only when you are an IRS officer. Otherwise, you cannot get this stupidity. The third
one. In fact, in all the budgets, since I was a child, this habit of tinkering with some text this way or that way, the next day morning, ये चीज सस्ता हो गया, ये चीज महंगा हो गया, ये जो गेम है, ये बड़ा पेन है.
पागलों का गेम है. If the finance ministers are going to look at sasta or महंगा of some products, they are as well salesmen for that product. They are not finance ministers of this country. Now the third one on the direct taxes. Third one, I would say that time has come that we must now say anybody who is getting more than 10 lakh rupees income at an individual level, tax at 10%. Less than 10 lakh rupees, completely exempt from income tax. Remove all your exemptions and deductions. Chapter 6A and Chapter 4 have to die a natural death, and converge at the corporate level at 22% of corporate taxes. If left to me, I will resolve the complexities in direct taxes in no time. And since I can resolve this, I will never be called. So I know that also. And income tax and GST will be a gold mine for practicing chartered accountants and lawyers. This is not my statement. This is a statement of late Palkiwala in 1985, when I was in +2. I am almost coming to the end of my career, and I am now going to stop practicing also. At that time, I see that it is still a practicing chartered accountant's delight. Every amendment means every chartered accountant looks at some beautiful building and says, "Isko book kar do." And MSMEs are the people who pay for it. And in a society where doctors, lawyers, and chartered accountants are prospering, again, to use the great Vaidyanathan ji's phrase, that society is not prospering. And I will stop here.
After having such a wonderful, introduction to taxation, which everybody will understand, I wish, because in recording only one screen comes, I wish they could see the face of all the MSME guys sitting here who would enjoy that talk.
So, these are things which we need to do. We are not doing because it is. See, the problem, you talk to any banker, he will agree that NPA has to go. NPA norm 90-day has to go. But he also knows that McKinsey is looking at you. Big Fours are your consultant. He knows that your Fitch is looking at your rating of the rupee. And several of these children are employed by these agents of joint secretaries, several people. So government of India is a wholly owned entity wholly owned subsidiary of many of these Big Fours and of your McKinseys, of your Big Fours, of your multinational lending agents, so rating agents. So you don't have the courage to come out.
So I would request
intent hai,
Ashish
content
ji,
nahi hai. Isliye intent hai, content.
Considering the limitation of time, I'll ask Ashish ji to put forward his views, both in terms of an MSME who is on the receiving end of the, statutory issues, whether good or bad, and also if you want to comment on the tax regime.
Yeah, taking off from where MR Venkatesh sir was speaking on the complexities of GST and what Rajiv Tilly sir was telling, I'll recount one real life incident. Trying to give some land for real estate development and trying to understand the GST implications of it. I went to at least 10 top GST practitioners in Hyderabad. Not one was able to clearly specify that this is the GST implication. I went to 5 or 6 top builders of Hyderabad. Not one was able to specify that this is the real GST implication. I said, "Aisa kya hai isme karke?" And since I had developed a bit of affinity to read law and taxation issues, I took out the GST chapters related to real estate taxation, went through. So confusing. Nonetheless, I did make a certain opinion, which I thought was right, but I needed a stamp of approval from a GST practitioner. So when I spoke to one of the biggest developers, he said, "Ashish, it is never going to be resolved." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "It will never be resolved because if it is resolved, then who will ask us? हमको कौन पूछेगा? और tax inspector को कौन पूछेगा? So it will always be left ambiguous. So anyway, that I guess summarizes one other aspect of the present tax.
It reminds me one more point that since you had a startup, for the PSA plant,
right?
Does it provide any break to MSME when they do some innovation?
Nothing that I've heard of right now. Recently, some governments have come out with some policies wherein specifically for PSA oxygen plants, they are providing some incentives. But we are still looking into it. But our past experience shows that, while announcements are very grandiose and filled with fanfare, when it actually comes to the implementation and you start meeting the officers, the story turns out to be very different. So while some announcements have been made by some state governments, including land at concessional rates and tax concessions for a certain period of time, we'll have to see how much of it actually comes up for implementation and how well it is implemented.
And in terms of experience of, let us say, a person in Delhi or a person in Mumbai or a Chennai and a person in Hyderabad, does the state government make any difference to your life as an industrialist?
In terms of, at least if I can speak of the Hyderabad experience, yes, not a lot of difference, but some difference is definitely made, especially if you have a progressive government, which tries to at least, ease out certain rules. But otherwise, the biggest difference that I have seen that has been made is mostly due to the tax holidays, which had earlier been given in special areas, let's say in Himachal or other areas. But then again, there is a question mark of how many people could go to Himachal or northeastern areas and set up their industries. Governments do make a difference, but the degree again depends.
No, just to add one point here, these swaps are given where the industry is not there. If industry is not there, my first-hand experience is that the industrial culture is also not there. You have got pretty cheap land in Rajasthan, but you will not find labor to or the trained workmen to work in your factory. I have a huge business base in Assam, especially Guwahati and around. So I was offered land there for an industrial plant, and the land was just as good as free. But when I start asking the local people, my distributor and everybody, they said, boss, आप ले तो आओगे, यहाँ काम करने वाले लोग ही नहीं मिलेंगे, यहाँ आपको काम करना कल्चर ही नहीं है यहाँ पे.
ये ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस मेरा भी हिमाचल में, मैंने कई ऐसे किस्से सुने हैं जिन्होंने खोले बातें बंद करके वापस चले गए. So anyway, I'll move to Vishal, who has not got a chance, the youngest of the lot, and one who also deals with government, also deals with public sector, also has an export unit. So as a person is supposed a lifeline of economy who raises exports, so we can have good foreign exchange. What is his view on policies regarding exports? Because other engineering we already talked about. So in terms of exports, whether the policies are good for MSME or really they give incentive to the exporters. Any point on that, Vishal? And you can add something more if you wish to.
Because
he told me that he has also written to Prime Minister's office about his suggestions on the taxation and fiscal issues. So first you can tell me about export related issues, and then you can also wish to add a little more on what your ideas were about taxes. MRV has not already spoken about them.
Vishalji is muted. You need to unmute.
Hello. Sorry. So the first that our total budget में outlay है to 15,700.
आपकी आवाज कट रही है, Vishal. Your voice is breaking.
So now that's like if you talk 25 lakh crore by. अभी आ रही है सर आवाज?
Broken है, voice broken. नहीं, broken voice है. आप वीडियो बंद करके बोल दीजिए, फिर दोबारा ट्राई करेगा खोल के.
It is video बंद करो. Now this is better.
It is better, but I can't have it continuously off the screen when the recording comes. But anyway, we can start that because we want to hear you first.
Yeah. So the first point is that the total outgo of our budget outlay is 15,700 crores, whereas for farms, state and center put together is 2.5 lakh crores. So out of that direct tax collection and indirect tax collection, the MSME contribution is close to about 7 to 8 lakh crores. So a sector which is earning for you 7 to 8 lakh crores, if your budget allocation is only 15,700 crores, how would you make the how would you give the stimulation?
Excellent.
So, अगर आप उसको कम से, so say for example, power farmers get free subsidy in terms of power. Now, if central government has to give free subsidized power to a MSME, it should have a fund. They don't have a fund. So, agar they say, I'll give you one live example with us. Now, BHEL wants to buy certain products from China. Government of India says don't buy from China. Now, to a Chinese manufacturer, they are ready to provide LC. But to an Indian manufacturer, BHEL would not provide LC. Now, if I don't have a LC, where would I go and get my business funded? banks, as MR sir said, they don't give money to the MSMEs. आपने बताया कि 20% total वो पैसा देते हैं. So unless you have budget allocations for MSMEs to a larger extent, the things wouldn't improve. So they must have a policy wherein a total contribution of MSME 10 to 15% will be allocated in budget to be distributed in various forms. It can be ALCG scheme, it can be technology innovation, it can be any fund. The scheme names are very good. You have got funds allocated for each scheme. But then, जैसे EV की अगर अपन बात करें, तो 900 crore was, I think 300 crores was the amount which was sanctioned कि इतना हम subsidy देंगे, but the उसका utilization was only about 70 crores. So unless you have a panel, and again it goes back to every centerpiece would go back to the Babu. Now, if somebody, an IAS or an IRS officer, is going to evaluate a technological innovation, then it is impossible to get the money. So all this, I would say that first and foremost is that on a fiscal stimulation, the budget allocation of MSMEs should go up to minimum about 50 to 60,000 crores if you really want MSMEs to be given anything. Second, let's say cheaper power. Now, if I have to set up an solar plant on my roof, I still have to continue giving the charges to the power company as the minimum demand charges. So if I calculate minimum demand charges multiplied by the demand and the solar power consumption, the solar power becomes non-viable. So exporters need, whether it is exporter or a local manufacturer, we basically need line of credit. Banks don't give you. In the budget allocation, there are no as such schemes. So irony is that a foreign supplier is ready to trust us for 300 days of credit. But government of India doesn't trust us. Now, another point is the tenure. Now, you are giving housing loan, which is a brick and mortar house, for 15 years. Now, for MSME, you don't give more than term loan more than 7 years. So, if जैसा सर ने बोला कि आप 18% से 16% करो लिक्विडिटी आ जाएगा, आप जो 7 ईयर के जो टेन्योर्स हैं उसको आप 10 years या 12 years के लिए कर दो. There will be enough liquidity with MSME. So of course good things have happened. As I said,
वीडियो ऑन करके देखो विशाल जी, वीडियो ऑन करके देखो, अभी शायद चल पड़ा आपका.
अभी आ रहा है सर आवाज?
आ रहा है. लोग देखते लेते बढ़िया सुझाव कौन दे रहा है. हाँ जी.
तो सर लिक्विडिटी सर अगर चाहिए सिस्टम में, जैसा सर ने बताया 18 से 16 करिए. जो टर्म लोन के टेन्योर्स हैं वो ECLG जो सर ने बोला ना, वो सिट बिठानी पड़ेगी कि वो पैसे मिले किसको. जो ने ELCGL जो स्कीम लाई थी टू इंक्रीज द मॉरिटोरियम, एटलीस्ट आई एम एन एक्सपोर्टर, आई नेवर गॉट दैट स्कीम. And there is a very differential treatment between cooperative bank and nationalized banks. So you have to move to that value chain. A cooperative banker is also giving an X amount of loan to an MSME. It should be treated at par with the nationalized bank norms. So आप कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स की ऑटोनॉमी को 2 या 3 घोटालों के कारण वापस ले रहे हो. कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स हैज ऑलवेज रिमेन्ड लाइक a desi lala which knows who is the borrower and he would trust and give the money. उसकी आप वो इंडिपेंडेंस RBI को लाके उसको कर्टेल करते जा रहे, which is like a big thorn in MSME's issue. Like you go to a cooperative bank, they sir अभी RBI ने ये नया रूल ले आया, RBI ने ये नया रूल ले आया, RBI ने ये नया रूल ले आया। पहले उनका ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं था, वो बोरोवर को जानते थे, वो अपनी सिक्योरिटी लेके काम करते थे। जैसा वेंकटेश सर ने बोला कि वो एक इकोसिस्टम था।
इनफैक्ट मैं इसमें जोड़ूंगा, because of the strange bank habits that they will not give to the MSME or micro trader or small person a loan, they go to chit fund. It is very popular in South, and chit funds are shown as some kind of out of way and some kind of outlaws by the banks and the governments. But actually, they are the originators of the basic financial systems that exist in Tirupur and various part of Tamil Nadu and also other places in the country, but they are very professional as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned. If they are not brought into the particular value chain in a proper way, we are losing out a much bigger, easier to approach, body who can give loans. On cooperative banks, I differ with you because cooperative banks had become personal properties. So there needed to be some control and people needed some kind of security that the deposit will not go waste. But we can differ on that view, that's okay. But yes, basically managers need to be much more humane in dealing with MSME, much more, see, they lose crores in a particular corporate segment, then they throw their weight behind on MSME. That is what is my experience. So we will go to the last round now because I think most of the things have been said and expressed. So I'll go back to Mr. Tulli and have his, key points. Very interestingly, MR began with solutions, not with problems, because MSME guys are here who know the problems, and MRV came with solutions. So we can't say we're just debating and criticizing government. All of us have given good inputs and very interesting observations. So now in this last round, we begin with Mr. Tulli again, and he can explain what he thinks can be solution or additional suggestions which can improve lives of MSME and bring the economy back on rail.
No, I still have few problems on my list, but let's leave that.
Please. There is no problem. Please.
Start with
MRV will solve them. Don't worry. MR will solve it.
Let's start with the financing. Let's start with the finance. You have a product by the name of CGT MSE where you need to give 2% as an fees to the bank for insurance or the insurance premium. So which makes you your competence goes, your capital becomes 2% more costlier than your bigger corporate. So this 2%, how it can be either reduced or how it can go, taking a look at the data that you given in the beginning के बड़े कॉर्पोरेट्स का कितना एनपीए है और एमएसएमई का कितना एनपीए है, तो उसमें कंपैरिजन करके this should be brought down. Point number 1. Point number 2, the labor laws governing me with an employee strength of 30-35 people and Reliance are the same. There was a committee formed, formed by the name of Prabhat Kumar. He used to be cabinet secretary. That was one member committee, and that gave a suggestion to the government that there should be a small factory labor laws. So you need to have small factory labor laws which should be governing your MSMEs exclusively. This is my point number 2, which is there. Then definitely, if you want to make an Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Rajiv ji, just a moment. You mean to say that the labor code that has been devised recently doesn't solve your problem?
No, that still doesn't solve our problem because the implementation have not happened till the date. Notify हो गए हैं वो सारे laws जो हैं, मगर अभी उसका कुछ implementation और वो सब बिल्कुल नहीं है. अब जब होगा, जितने टाइम में होगा, वो पता नहीं कब होगा. तो एक ये, this is one thing which should be done. If it is already done, it is not in my knowledge, I'll update it. But if it is still not there, for MSMEs you have to have different labor laws. You cannot have the same labor laws which are there for the big corporates. And then I have one more point. समाधान करके एक पोर्टल, सेकंड वेव के बाद तो अभी कुछ भी नहीं आया एमएसएमईज के लिए, बट समाधान करके जो पोर्टल भी आया है अभी एमएसएमईज के रेजोल्यूशन, डिस्प्यूट रेजोल्यूशन के लिए, दैट इज टू पैथेटिक. मतलब उसमें डेटा चढ़ता ही नहीं है. आप जेम आप ले आए हैं, जेम पे डेटा जाता ही नहीं है डेटा आपका. यू कैन नॉट क्रिएट योर अकाउंट. देयर आर स्पेशलाइज्ड पीपल हु आर सिटिंग इन जेम ऑफिसेज हु हेल्प यू. They seek money, they help you create your accounts, make your catalogs, put your products on there. So that is the problem is still there. DG S&D was much better than GeM probably. Government would have saved certain money by creating GeM, but the businessmen who are there, DG S&D was far more better. Then rationalization of GST, as MR have also said, that is necessary, बहुत जरूरी है. उसके बिना your MSMEs are not going to flourish. Now this CGT, coming back to CGT MSE, the product that we discussed earlier. So now 75% of the loan given is guaranteed by central government. 25% is banks' liability. So banks are not willing to lend in that scheme. So either it should be made 100%. When the NPAs of MSMEs are much less than the bigger corporates, then it can be 100% guaranteed by the central government also. So these are 2-3. Another point, like as Vishal also said, when we go to China or any exhibition happens there, where overseas exhibitors are allowed, their stall expense, their freight for sending whatever they bring in here, even their tickets are sponsored by their governments. आप इधर यहाँ कोई लोकल एग्जीबिशन में भी अगर आप पार्टिसिपेट करने जाते हो, NSIC के पास कभी फंड ही नहीं रहता है कि वो आपका 3 बाय 3 मीटर का एक छोटा सा बेसिक स्टॉल जो 9,000 रुपए कॉस्ट करता होगा या 20,000 रुपए कॉस्ट करता होगा, वो उसको भी फंड करने के लिए उसके पास पैसा नहीं रहता. तो साहब, we have already all the funds that were there, that all been exhausted. हमारे पास कुछ नहीं है. We cannot give you. There was a wonderful exhibition happening in South Africa for electric vehicles. We wanted to participate in that because there's a huge market of electric vehicles of our product which we manufacture in African countries also, due to the cost of the operative cost of the vehicle. So when we spoke to NSIC, same stereotype, same one line answer was, पैसे नहीं है, हम आपको नहीं कर सकते, आप अपने. So if you want to make an Atmanirbhar Bharat, we are providing employment to such a huge population. We are contributing so much to the tax, all the direct and indirect. So why not these small and these small things can be taken care very easily. I don't know why somebody is not putting brain to it. Thank you.
Wonderful. So I think इतने लोग भरे पड़े MSME वाले कि शो 2 घंटे भी चल सकता है, और अगर कोई गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर इसको देख ले तो अपनी समस्याएं सारी दूर हो सकती हैं और वो ध्यान से सुने. तो आशीष जी.
रतन जी, ऐसा नहीं है उनको समस्या मालूम नहीं है, वो करना ही नहीं चाहते यार. प्रॉब्लम ही है, प्रॉब्लम इज ऑफ इंटेंट. सरकार की ऊपर माने रूलिंग पार्टी का इंटेंट ठीक है, ब्यूरोक्रेसी डजंट वांट इट टू गेट इंप्लीमेंटेड यार. सिंपल. वो बोल तो रहे हैं कि चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, कंसल्टेंट्स, दीज ऑल विल बिकम, बेचारे सब बेरोजगार हो जाएंगे साहब अगर ये सब चीजें खत्म हो जाएंगी.
ठीक है जी. आशीष जी.
जी, मैं
कोशिश रहती 1 घंटे में हो जाए. कल भी सिखों वाला भी नहीं हो पाया था. होपफुली आज हम और लड़ाई कम करेंगे, खालसा कम बनेगा, थोड़ा सा टाइम पे पूरा करेंगे.
जी, मैं 2 ही बातें बोल के अपनी वाणी को विराम दूंगा. एक तो जो CGT MSE राजीव टुली जी बोल रहे हैं, उसका मैं खुद स्वयं बेनिफिशियरी रहा हूं, और वो एक एक्सपीरियंस अपने आप में एक एक्सपीरियंस था कि वो कैसे लोन मिला है. अच्छे बैंक जिससे आपका सालों से रिलेशनशिप रहा है, जो आपके आगे पीछे फिरते थे कि सर आप लोन ले लो, उनको आप CGT MSE बोलते वो आपका फोन भी नहीं उठाता है. तो खैर, इस CGT MSE के सिलसिले में एक चीज बोलूंगा, स्पेशली ये कोविड टाइम्स में अगर गवर्नमेंट CGT MSE लोन्स दिलवा दे MSMEs को, वो एक बहुत बड़ा कदम होगा. भले ही 1-2% ज्यादा भी लोग देने रेडी हो जाएंगे, बट उनको CGT MSE लोन मिले, वो एक चीज है. और दूसरी एक अहम बात जो मैं कहना चाह रहा था, दैट ये आमतौर पे ना मीडिया में आती है, मेरे ख्याल से गवर्नमेंट के सम्मुख भी आई है, नहीं आई है मुझे पता नहीं, बट अगर हम प्री GST टाइम पे जाएं तो MSME और लार्ज स्केल इंडस्ट्री में एक बेसिक डिफरेंशिएटर होता था एक्साइज ड्यूटी. MSME स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्री पे हमको एक्साइज ड्यूटी नहीं देनी पड़ती थी, सिर्फ वैट देते थे और बड़ी इंडस्ट्री एक्साइज ड्यूटी देती थी। तो एक नेचुरल कॉस्ट एडवांटेज एक स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्री को मिला हुआ था। आफ्टर जीएसटी रेजिम दैट डिफरेंशिएशन इज गॉन। आज आप एक छोटी से छोटी इंडस्ट्री और बड़ी से बड़ी रिलायंस को आप एक फुटिंग पे लाके उनको कॉम्पीट करने के लिए बोल रहे हैं। और आप उसमें देखिए कंप्लायंस, बर्डन, रूल्स, रेगुलेशन सब वही हैं। प्लस रिलायंस आज ओवरसीज जाके भी बोरो कर सकता है, 0% इंटरेस्ट लोन भी ले सकता है। और ये एमएससी वाले को ना सीजीटी एमएससी मिलता है, ना हायर रेट पे भी लोन मिलता है। वो कंपीट कैसे करेगा? इस चीज में लेके काफी एमएसएमई इंडस्ट्रीज बंद हो रहे हैं और बर्बाद हो रहे हैं। तो मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि आप टैक्सेशन डिफरेंशिएशन लेके आइए, जो जीएसटी रेजिम में अभी नहीं आ सकता। उसके भी अपने फायदे हुए हैं कि आपको अलग वैट और सर्विस टैक्स और एक्साइज नहीं भरना है। बट एटलीस्ट दो चीजें गवर्नमेंट को इसमें करनी चाहिए। एक कि कंप्लायंस बर्डन कम करे। इतने सारे डिपार्टमेंट मैं बता रहा हूं वेस्ट हैं। देयर इज एब्सोल्युटली नो यूटिलिटी ऑफ फॉलोइंग दोस कंप्लायंस रूल्स अदर देन गिविंग अनऑफिशियल ट्रांजैक्शंस। तो कंप्लायंस बर्डन एक कम करे और क्रेडिट दें 1-2%। आज तो इंडस्ट्री ऐसी है कि 1-2% ज्यादा भी मिले परवाह नहीं, पर क्रेडिट तो दें। क्रेडिट ही नहीं मिलता। और उसके अंदर अगर कॉम्पिटिटिव रेट पे अगर क्रेडिट मिल जाए तो आई थिंक दोस टू विल बी द big boons for MSME sector in India. These 2 points is what.
Great. I think you made very good points in a very articulate manner. So विशाल जी, आपके last points कुछ आप कहना चाहे? कहते हैं ना आपकी आखिरी ख्वाहिश। अनम्यूट नहीं हुआ।
सॉरी, MEIS का दायरा बढ़ाना चाहिए। जो डायरेक्ट इंसेंटिव स्कीम है उसको और लिबरलाइज करना चाहिए। जैसा सबने बोला कि 1-2% आप हर जगह से जहां जहां दे सकते हैं दीजिए। अगेन आई विल कम बैक टू द पॉइंट, 15,700 करोड़ रुपया इज टू स्मॉल एन अमाउंट फॉर MSMEs टू बी डिस्पर्स्ड इन अ फिस्कल पॉलिसी। वो जब तक 70-80 हजार करोड़ या 50-60 हजार करोड़ नहीं होगा, सरकार के पास हमें देने को पैसे नहीं होंगे। सो दैट नीड्स टू बी चेंज। जो हमारी पॉलिसी टुवर्ड्स पावर है, दैट नीड्स टू बी रीलुक्ड। अगर आप डिमांड चार्जेस, एक ही काम अगर कर देती है सरकार की, डिमांड चार्जेस हटा देती है, तो यू विल सी अ स्प्लर्ज ऑफ यूनिट्स गेटिंग कन्वर्टेड इनटू द सोलर पावर। सो और तो सर कुछ नहीं है। तो बोल, जैसा आपने बताया कि हरि अनंत, हरि कथा अनंत है ये तो।
So last logos to MRV.
Sir,
So
I would
close
say,
the discussion on this.
yeah. See, MSME is the soul of India, no doubt about it, but it has remained a cliche. And it requires differential, whether it is in labor laws, whether it is in taxes, whether it is in the way you administer. Now, what is the biggest problem for the MSME sector is too much of government interferes in their functioning. Okay. Now, government doesn't understand this, whether it is X government or Y government, nobody understands what to do. I gave you 3 suggestions. एक था NPA में, एक था GST में, एक था direct taxes में. Now come to the 4th one, and this will be the best one, I will tell you. Let the cabinet secretary be asked to run a business, say Tuliji's business, for 1 month. Okay. I will tell you, he will die out of depression and he will die out of heart attack. It is easier to run the country than to run Tuliji's business or my business. Understand? Now, this is not a joke. I had put it on Twitter. Let the CBDT chairman fill the income tax return, his own income tax return, but he should not take any help. And he should sit before Modi ji, and it should be telecast live by all the 800 channels. And he should do it within 45 minutes. Like that CBEC chairman, I will give him one small MSME's GST return. Suddenly, I will pick up one GST return of somebody, and it may be of Tuliji's business or my business, and tell him, चलो आपको 1 घंटा देता हूँ, इसको अपलोड करके दिखाओ, देखते हैं तमाशा इन सब की क्या होती है. And if Modi ji does it, that day Modi ji has understood the problem of Indian economics. Till otherwise, he is the spokesperson for the bureaucracy. He is not the Prime Minister of India, he is a spokesperson for the bureaucrats. It may be slightly harsh, but that's a reality. That the bureaucracy as this government, or for that matter 1947 से जो कुछ भी सरकार बनाई गई है, व्यवस्था जो है, ढांचा जो है, by the bureaucracy, for the bureaucracy, of the bureaucracy. And these guys don't know what to do. They cannot run a pan bhandar for 3 hours. And they are running the country and economics and business, ratings, sab kuch. RBI's fellows cannot run one shop, one chai ki dukan. Let us be very clear. It is not their cup of tea to run a tea shop. And they have invested with all the powers to draw all the rules, regulations. Let RBI governor come and sit in my office. He will know what are the difficulties I face. Let him come and sit with Tuliji. He will know what is the problem of input credit. Input credit is denied because Tuliji's supplier have not uploaded their form appropriately.
Not only that, Tuliji might be penalized because somebody made a false claim.
Yes.
Not the person, but Tuli will be,
and on top of it, Tuliji will be threatened. 1 minute, Tuliji, आप ही की वकालत कर रहा हूँ, free में कर रहा हूँ, निश्चिंत रहिए. Okay, so आपको arrest की चेतावनी दी जाएगी. Everything. So if you enter something wrongly, straight away Tuliji will be elevated to level of Malaya and he will be threatened with an arrest. So there are only 2 types of people, Malaya and non-existent people. And the laws are created only for Malayas and you have escorted Malayas outside the country. So the problem is that we are looking at every Indian as a criminal. Every businessman as somebody who is amassing wealth, and we believe that amassing wealth is something wrong. Creating wealth is wrong. So we are distributing poverty. The alternative is to only distribute poverty. I should be as poor as you are and you should be as poor as I am.
Except bureaucrats.
Except bureaucrats. जिसको आज भी we are increasing petrol prices, carrying on the petrol excessive petrol taxes and distributing DA to our bureaucracy. By bureaucracy, for bureaucracy, of bureaucracy. Till this mindset changes, CGTMSC or whatever is the scheme, all these things are of no use unless we have people who are rooted to Indianness in economics. We are always worried about rating agency. We are worried about what World Bank will say. We are worried what IMF will talk about our growth rates. We are worried about what McKinsey will say in the next quarterly, what Wall Street Journal will write, what New York Times will write. If we are fixated with external certification, internal economy will collapse.
So I think this was one of the most stimulating discussions on economics and Indian economy that I have had the fortune to even listen to. Hosting it is a wonderful experience. I think everybody had a very, very good suggestions, not plain criticism. Of course, MRV has a very fantastic style of speech. And he has such a command over words that it makes things very entertaining and very, very interesting too. And with this, we close this discussion. And I think my
एक बात आप सुन लो, केवल उसको एडिट कर देना, बेशक आप जब एडिट टेबल में बैठो.
नहीं, ये एडिटिंग वाला है नहीं, मेरे पास इंस्ट्रूमेंट नहीं है. ये क्लोज करके फिर बात करेंगे.
आप करवा लेना इसको एडिट. प्याज का रेट बढ़ने पर सरकार गिर गई. जून 2020 में स्टील का प्राइस वाज 48 rupees per kg. Today it is 91 rupees per kg. 1 year. 48 June 2020, 48 rupees. Today June 2021, 91 rupees. How will MSME, or for that sake any industry? The reason for this is the big export orders, the export obligations. So अगर आपके देश की इंडस्ट्री मर जाएगी तो आप एक्सपोर्ट पे जीवित नहीं रह सकते.
So yeah, I think we'll have to have another session because there are so many issues to discuss. तो आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. ये पिछले क्रिप्टो करेंसी का डिस्कशन, ये डिस्कशन tells me there's more things, more to be said about economics than any YouTube channel or TV wants to speak about. So we'll see how we can carry these discussions forward. And I'm very happy to say that the next episode of my program on Monday evening will be about Seva hai, Yajna Kund have named it. It is, that Seva is sacrificing fire, in which I'll bring in people who themselves stay in what we call Seva Bastis, or very poor quarters with they hardly survive their lives. How they work during COVID and help people. तो अपनी फिक्र ना करते हुए इस प्रकार के आर्थिक रूप से संकट में रहने वाले लोग, उन्होंने जिस प्रकार से कोविड में सेवा की, हमारे पास सुविधा अच्छी है, हमारे पास साधन अच्छे हैं, हम तो सर्वाइव कर गए, लेकिन ये सर्वाइव ही नहीं किए, इन्होंने कईयों की सर्वाइवल की। तो ऐसे अलग अलग सिटीज से बेंगलोर, मुंबई, पुणे और दिल्ली, यहाँ से मैं कुछ लोगों को लाऊंगा और बहुत ही एक अच्छा मानवीयता का संदेश लेकर एक कार्यक्रम आएगा। सोमवार शाम को आप उसको देखेंगे। इसके साथ ही बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आपके लिए वीकेंड शुभ हो। नमस्कार।